drive me crazy out my mind. How'd you do this every time? Now I'm lost without you. Used to be the one I talk to when I'm sad. Can't you see now tainted love is all we have? Our issues run so deep, now when I try to sleep I feel so bad. I should leave them by the time it's done. I'll be
That was 287k on a damage dot take. 2 million? No! No! No way do we just hit someone for 2 million damage on a melee. Are you kidding me? No way! No way! What's Mayhem? This is Mayhem 4 home.
You're so distant when you're home, always hanging by your phone. Do I even know you? And I get paranoid sometimes, 'cause I know that you ain't mine, and I'm lost without you. Used to be the one I talk to when I'm sad. Can't you see now tainted love is all we have? Our issues run so deep, now when I try to sleep I feel so bad. I should leave them by the time it's done. I'll be
Yo guys, what is up? Moxie here with another Borderlands 3 video. First off, you might notice that I don't have face cam on. Try and walk through a tutorial guide without face cam, see if you guys like it more, see if you guys don't like it, let me know your opinions. But today we have my Mayhem 4 mobbing build. Now I have made a few melee builds, but a lot of them were in the past were very like niche builds, and you could use them in certain scenarios and you couldn't use them in other scenarios. This build will carry you through bossing on Mayhem 4, mobbing on Mayhem 4. Anything you want to do with this build you can do. It hits really, really hard. There are some things that I'm going to be talking about today, showing you guys how you can get the perfect gear for this, and things that you could do if you don't have the perfect gear. I'll be covering the builds and different mechanics. But so this build uses the Spiritual Driver and the Unleash the Dragon relic. Those are the two core components to this build. That is all you need for this build to shine. The Spiritual Driver, if you didn't know, it says Amara's gun damage is increased while moving. The quicker she moves, the greater the gun damage bonus. As of right now, when I'm making this video, this does not work as intended. It boosts our gun damage, but it boosts dot damage, it boosts melee damage. The quicker you're moving, the more melee damage will do. If you inflict a dot on an enemy, if you're moving really fast, that dot will do more damage. If you move to a walking speed, that dot will do less damage. And that works really well with the Unleash the Dragon. So the Unleash the Dragon is a legendary artifact. By the way, I'll be going over where to get all these things at the very end of the video. But the Unleash the Dragon is a relic that works really well with melee. You're going to be looking for incendiary damage and melee damage on yours. That has a 100% proc chance to ignite enemies. Now this dot from the Unleash the Dragon relic is going to scale off of how hard we punch an enemy. So if we punch an enemy really hard, they're going to take a much higher dot damage over time. And if we punch them really hard while we're moving really fast and then continue to move really fast, that dot damage, as you guys saw, is going to be crazy high, ridiculously high. And that is why we're using the Spiritual Driver. My rolls in the Spiritual Driver for this aren't great. I would prefer some melee damage on this, but yeah, I haven't gotten one with melee damage. With this, we're using a butt plug. The butt plug is a Blue Jacobs pistol. If you guys didn't know what this does, basically it does 110% melee damage, but when you stab an enemy from behind, it'll do double melee damage. So this will actually scale with our Unleash the Dragon relic. So when we're hitting enemies from behind, we're going to be doing crazy damage. The other weapon I like using with this is a more Lenoge. Mine has, while terrified, deal 50% bonus crowd damage on it. That's not super important here. What is important is, are you going to be looking for 120% melee damage? And I'll explain why I use the Lenoge here in a second. And the other two things that you could use is a Face Puncher and a Sellout. I didn't want to make a Face Puncher build. This isn't a Face Puncher build, so I don't use the Face Puncher here. But if you guys like using the Face Puncher, you can with this build. But to do the most damage, you should be punching people. This is a Fisticuffs build. Now with that, I'm pairing a Firestorm grenade. Doesn't need to be a Firestorm. It could be whatever grenade you want. There are new anointments in the game that you can get from vending machines. You get these grenades from vending machines or on drops that'll give you bonus action skill damage. These are super nice because they activate when we phase grass the air, which is really nice. And this will just boost our melee damage depending on what grenade you want to use, what scenario. You can use whatever you'd like. Not super necessary for this build, but it is nice to have when we do shoot things. And don't freak out. Don't freak out here. So we're using a Brawler's Ward with this build. Any Brawler's Ward works with this. But if you guys want to maximize to have the most damage, the consistently the best damage you can do, best damage you can have, you're going to want to be using a level 1 Brawler Ward. Don't freak out. Don't freak out. There's no glitching involved with this. There's no hacking. I didn't spawn this item in. People think that I make items or mod items. That is not true. Do not do that. People send me items, which is really nice, but this is legit. This is really easy to do. All you need to do to get an item like this is have a Brawler's Ward drop for you, and instead of picking it up, save and quit and join a friend on a level 1 character. When you join a friend on a level 1 character, go to the Lost Loot and open up the Lost Loot, and that Brawler Ward that dropped for you is going to be level 1 if you're on a level 1 character. I will show you how to do this at the end of the video. It's really easy to do, really simple. And the reason we're using a level 1 Brawler Ward is because its capacity is tiny. Because its capacity is so tiny, that means that we can strip our shield with just the driver dot. So the driver dot on ourself is going to allow us to strip our shield, allowing us to have our shield down all the time. The reason we want our shield all down all the time is because we're still getting, even on a level 1, plus 300% melee damage, plus 25% weapon damage, and we're getting plus 4% max health per second, which is really nice. Now, with this one that I have, I would prefer a bonus melee damage on action skill end, but I do have Apply Terror, which does work well with my while terrified deal 50% bonus cryo damage on my Lenoge, because that'll give my melees cryo damage as well, but that isn't necessary for this build. The only thing that's necessary for this build is a driver, Unleash the Dragon, Everything else is up to you. I would recommend using level 1 Brawler Award. Once again, I'll show you guys how to do this. You can do this on Xbox, you can do it on PS4, you can do it on, well, you can't do it on mobile, but you can do it on PC as well. It's really simple. We'll be dropping the game save for you people on PC because I know you guys enjoy that. And let's get into the actual skill tree. So we're going Clarity here instead of Root to Rise. The reason we're going Clarity for our skill tree is because the way this build works, the way I like to play this build, is spamming Phase Grasp to keep up our self-dot, right? So as long as we're spamming Phase Grasp, our self-dot is going to stay on us, giving us full movement speed. But we are using Samsara with Fist Over Matter, so that when we do get into a tight situation, we can use Phase Grasp on an enemy and we'll get a ton of healing from Samsara. So Clarity is going to keep us alive when we don't have that. When we do use our action skill, we're going to get Samsara. We're also going to get full Helping Hands, 48% damage reduction, and the dot on ourselves. If you didn't know this, guys, this dot is going to proc full stacks of Mindfulness as long as you have an anointment for bonus damage. My bonus damage on my Linoge is going to allow me to do this, and my bonus damage on my Fire is going to allow me to do, or have 25 stacks of Mindfulness. I didn't get Personal Space here because I'm not shooting. This isn't going to increase my melee damage, and so we don't need it. I wanted to just make a pure melee build. With that, we're getting Find Your Center for more melee damage. Now, One with Nature is super important here. We are more susceptible to fire damage because we're going to have our health out all the time, and having 40% damage reduction to our self-fire dot is really nice, in addition to our 48% damage reduction on top of that. That's going to give us a ton of damage reduction, which is really nice and helps us stay alive. Now, this build can do Slaughter Shaft. If you are going to do Slaughter Shaft, I recommend you get Arms Deal. I'll leave a skill tree in the description of if you want to do Slaughter Shaft with this. This currently is spec for general mobbing, whatever you want to do, but if you are going to take this into Slaughter Shaft, you have to get Arms Deal for the splash damage reduction from the rocket launchers. And yeah, I grabbed Guardian Angel because Guardian Angel keeps us up. Blitz is going to give us movement speed when we punch things. So it does a dash. This dash is going to give us bonus damage. Not only the skill, but because we're dashing, when we melee something, the driver is going to take into effect how fast we're going. And when you hit someone with Blitz, they will get ruined. It's a lot of damage when you hit someone with Blitz. As you saw in those clips, we hit someone for 2 million damage. For this tree, Anima is going to keep the dot on us for longer and boost our dot damage, which is super important because this build relies around incendiary damage and dots. With that, we're going to boost our elemental damage, imbue our melee with our action skill element, which is nice. Depending on what you're doing, usually like using this with fire, but if you're going to do like Slaughter Shaft, I'd put on corrosive. Wildfire for a chance to spread our dots, which is also nice. Gun damage, you didn't need this. I got it for if we do need to kill things. Deep Well is going to be nice, also not super needed, but we're just trying to get down to sustainment. Same with Indiscriminate. These are all things that work well with the Linoge, and once we get sustainment, we can stay alive. The reason we can stay alive is this isn't going to scale off of our melee damage. Our punches aren't going to heal us. But if you're running around with a Linoge and we have passively 5% health regen on top of this, where is it? There is it. This is going to give us 4%. So we got 9% passive health regen without ever doing anything. And then we activate our action skill and we're going to get 14% on top of this 25%, which is really nice, which allows us to stay alive and stay up while we're running around in Mayhem 4. But if you don't need to use your action skill, I wouldn't use it when you get low. And I'll show this all off in a second. But the reason I'm using sustainment here and a Linoge is, like I said, I don't like to use my action skill. I like to just run around at full speed. And while I'm using a Linoge with sustainment, this will allow me to run up to something, and if I need some quick health, I can get off my health real quick. I can fill up my health and then keep running. The Linoge isn't going to do as much damage as the butt plug if you stab someone from behind, but it will do more damage if you're up front. So that's why I like using it. It's very consistent, good melee damage. And with this, we don't really need anything in this blue tree. We don't need Violent Tapestry because this is a automatic guaranteed dot. And I'll show you guys off of what we can do with these things. But like I said, this level 1 Brawler's Ward is super nice. You don't need it. You don't have to have this. You don't have to do it. But it is cool, and it adds some spicy pizzazz to this build. This Unleash the Dragon build has been done before. It is a popular way of using melee, but in pairing with the Spiritual Driver class mod instead of the Breaker is going to make this build a lot more powerful and a lot more feasible on Mayhem 4. And let's go punch some things for you guys real quick. So I'm just going to show off that when we punch someone, that the dot increases. So it's doing like 4,000, right? As soon as I start moving, it's going to increase like crazy, right? So I punch him, 3,000, 3,000, 2,000. As soon as I start walking backwards and moving, it's going to increase. And our movement speed is higher when we're moving forward. So you are going to want to stay moving forward. But when you're watching my gameplay, what I like to do, there's two things. There's two really important parts to this build, gameplay-wise. So when you punch someone like this, you are standing still. That means you're not getting any bonus damage from our driver. Ideally, you would run up and punch an enemy at full movement speed. So I'm just swapping to bonus corrosive damage here, just to show you guys. So I haven't changed anything in my my skill tree. We're still on fire, and we're still going to be doing corrosive damage. So that anointment on the grenades does in fact boost our melee damage as well and give us bonus corrosive on action skill end with our melee damage, which is super cool. Very, very, very cool. Alright guys, that is it for the video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. If you did, and you appreciate the videos, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Do not go anywhere, because at the end of this video, I will be showing you step by step how to get level 1 Brawler Ward, or a level 1 of any gun you would like. Super simple. And also, we'll have a quick thing about the dedicated drops. Oh wow, we hit that guy hard. Alright, I'm just going to be here punching things. Have a good one, guys. I'll leave you with that info at the end of the video. And with that, we're out. Peace! Alright guys, so this is how you get level 1 items. So I just killed Grave Ward. Here we got a Deep Nebula skin, a Breakneck Monocle, and an Electric Slide Static Charge. Now I'm just gonna pick up the Static Charge real quick, because I don't want that. I'm gonna say that the Monocle is the gun that I want. And let's just drop something real quick for this. Pick that up. So I'm picking these things up so that they don't go into the lost loot. Alright. Now I got all my weapons. The only thing that I don't have is the Breakneck Monocle level 50 that has Anointed for Phase Grass. Now I'm going to go get this as a level 1 gun. And how you do that is I just leave it here. I'm going to quit my game. Then go to my invites. I got an invite from Ains Gank, which I'm going to join. Your friend has to be in Sanctuary, or should be in Sanctuary. They don't have to be in it when you join them, but they should be in Sanctuary. You just got to go to Sanctuary, and then join them as a level 1 character. So I'm gonna create a new character. Let's do a new flag. Bring in new flag, level 1. Gonna go hit up the claim lost loot. Where is my monocle? So as you can see, these things obviously didn't drop for me at these levels. They're all very low level. Is my monocle in here? Oh, I see it. It's at the bottom there. There we go. Breakneck monocle level 1. So that is how you get a level 1 Brawler's Ward. Just have a weapon drop for you. Don't pick it up. Quit and go join a friend's game at level 1, and you'll get a level 1 Brawler's Ward. Brawler's Ward drops from Grave Ward, so all you have to do is kill Grave Ward. Do exactly as I just did, and you'll be able to get yourself a easy Brawler's Ward for this, which is super cool, and adds a lot of flair and spice to this build.